I said it was Dust too. It's not. We're going into Train. That will be our next
A nice
map.
surprise then.
Yeah,
we've seen Dust already tonight.
I'm up for some Train. I am.
Can you catch a Train to Dust too? Or vice versa?
Oh, you could have done something there. I could have, but I'm just not quite as intelligent as you, Chad. Got Henry and Chad joining me to talk us through the final map of the night here for the ESL Pro League. And it does seem like HellRaisers came to play, at least in one half. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do in terms of interpreting the form that HellRaisers are in, because that Mirage was such a, well, a game of two halves. Oh, God.
That's a nice one. I've been waiting for someone to say it.
Cliche, there it is. Yeah. So, but basically, we tried to put the ball in the net more than them, and that's the football analysis.
Is that who gets the most points?
It is, yeah, indeed. Try and do better than they did. But Train is the next map between HellRaisers and Astralis. And the way we set the scene was that Astralis were hot favourites.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, I love the way HellRaisers started that.
I think on Train it'll be more clean cut, to be honest. I think this is one of the textbook maps for Astralis overall. Kiabi's moved into that main entrance role, taking over from Carrigan in that position. He's absolutely electrifying in that position. He's actually very, very good, and it's very difficult to shut him down, actually.
Now, actually, I have a question for you, Henry or Chad. I don't know who's kind of been keeping their eye on this the most. I know that Carrigan, when Kiabi joined, said eventually we're going to be playing around Kiabi. He's not going to force him to fill the shoes of his former teammate. Instead, he has the freedom because they're aware of his high skill ceiling. Have we seen that transition yet? I'm not so sure. I mean, you said he's swapped with Carrigan already on Train, so that is starting.
Yeah, like the LAN has just passed and Kiev started. That's his breakout performance for me. That's when we've actually seen the team didn't perform to the best level, but him as a player, he actually kept them in a lot of key situations. He's showing that that's the kind of form we expected when he left Dignitas. He was one of the hottest properties in CSGO at the time. And it was actually in DreamHack Leipzig, I think that was his breakout performance with Dignitas, and now it's been star ladder for Astralis. So it's actually quite exciting to see him returning to that form. He's been very quiet up until now, to be fair. I think it's been a very lackluster transfer. It seems like Dignitas have actually come up on top with Cajun B going to them, but Kiabi now starting to show his worth, which is nice because he is a very talented individual.
Yeah, do you consider him so, hottest property at one point or another?
He's still very young, he still has a lot of developing to do. He showed that he is a star in the past, and or he has the potential to be a star. And you see it in his performances. He has some really flashy rounds and does some amazing stuff. So if he grows into that role and he can be the carry player, I suppose, for Astralis, then yeah, they should base the team around him. But he's the nice little prospect, isn't he?
A nice prospect. I mean, it seems like we have deviated from Device.
Oh.
Not my best work. It's late. We have kind of left him in the dark. It's been so long since we started talking about the world's best player or contender for it in the form of Device. Where has that discussion gone?
That previous map on the first half was pretty non-existent. Him and Dupree, that double team combo didn't really arrive.
Double Ds,
yeah.
They were struggling. I think they had like 5 or 6 kills. Yeah, it wasn't
14 rounds.
But like that's not normally a big deal. You're winning rounds, that's absolutely fine. But your team's struggling throughout the board. On the T side, they're supposed to be like the guys making frags happen. Dupree especially. Renowned as one of the best entry fraggers on the planet. Not finding anything for them whatsoever. So that's really disappointing. Device. This is where another map that he's actually really good on. Train is actually another, I would say, a map where he can perform to the top level. Overpass is my favourite to watch him on, but Train, he's actually very intelligent in where to position himself. He's normally towards the inside site, either going aggressive in the lower ramp, connector, Ivy. He's like every single round he's in a different position. That's what makes him such a deadly force in this. And teams don't really know how to shut him down. He's very good at reading the situations and being in the right place at the right time.
Is it also fair to make the assumption that HellRaisers, given the loss of a coach, given the addition of a new player, of course no Smike did, Dead Fox is playing instead, that Train is probably one of those maps that would be the hardest for them to approach? You've lost some of your strats, you've lost some of your stars.
They seem like they want to play together a lot, especially from that map. I don't know if they wanted to change style or how they were going to go about it. But in that map, just under Mirage, they seem to do a lot of stuff together.
Right.
So I don't know if Train's going to be the same. But it's good for Dead Fox to be able to go around the map with the AWP and go for some picks and maybe take on Device or other people in other places. It could be a very key factor in this map.
Yeah, that's how a lot of teams will approach the T side, especially on the defaults. You're basing your play around the AWP. Guardian's a prime example for Na'Vi. They try and allow him to go towards main entrance, see if he gets smoked out, see how much time he can waste to try and find a pick there. If he gets smoked out, he'll reposition towards the upper halls or towards Ivy. And it's great for the AWPers to actually have great impact on this map. You can just get those first picks. You don't even necessarily have to commit at that point. You're waiting for the CT reactions and you're trying to bait them into mistakes, essentially. So this is a great chance for Dead Fox to show us what he's made of on the T side and maybe get them some more rounds, but they didn't get on Mirage.
So keep your eyes on Dead Fox is going to be the bottom line here. It does seem like the desk is leaning towards Astralis here, as it is going to be HellRaisers who have to prove their worth. They have lost 4 games back to back, not only in the Pro League, but here just most recently, and so they're going to have to try and redeem themselves here on Train. Your casters are ready, though. It's going to be Uber and Pansy to guide you through our final map.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, the final map, as was corrected, will be Train here. Definitely looking for a bit of an interesting, a different, should I say, conclusion to, HellRaisers. At least hopefully try and split this map. They did it against Fnatic fairly comfortably. I think it was actually Cobble they won, but let's go back to this one here. It is definitely going to be one to watch, Dead Fox. Let's see how he improves. Astralis on this map recently have had some decent form, obviously just beating Fnatic out on this map tonight in overtime, and it was a Tyloo victory as well for Astralis when they played at Star Series.
Yeah. So, in we go. HellRaisers on the T side, Astralis starting out on the CT side. And Zipnik's going straight onto the CZ for B, but other than that, relatively what you'd expect to see. Sticko and Deadfox with the smokes. They can build a little something into this, and it looks somewhat like early presence to be shown at B. Zipnix will be aware of this, and Dupree might want to try and help him out. Surely not this early. No.
Dupree wants to go up the ladder. Interesting. Well, he's going to be sent back down, minus a head there as Sticko finds in the moment he peeks up there. Obviously that man carrying the bomb, so a little bit of information game, but you don't see a heck of a lot there. Dupree barely even got to peek over the top and see what was going on. Sent straight back down the rabbit hole quickly. And Kirby was also set up down there as well. He will fall. So this is HellRaisers getting themselves a couple easy ones, but Zipnik's in a good position here to get the backstab. He wants to catch Sticko as it goes down, just misses him. Somehow the great escape is completed. Sticko, or Houdini as we might want to call him, manages to get himself out of that situation, but Device, a clever little tap there, leaves the bomb loose, and now Astralis can re-establish hold up on this A side.
And Kerrigan's here as well. Let's remind ourselves of that. This is still very possible for him to turn around a little bit, but actually shows presence. And now they know where he is, but what a shot towards Angel. Now in a 1v2 though. Can he go above and beyond the expected? No, he'll splatter merely the end of the train stop with blood, and that'll be that. So a little bit, I'd say a little bit, very aggressive start from Astralis. You had Dupree, of course, playing whack-a-mole to the worst way, over by Pop, and then even Zipnix as well, pushing straight up on B. So quite quickly looking to get involved into this one. And for Astralis, a little bit of a purchase back here. So upgraded pistols, not much more than that, a grenade with Zipnix. And for HellRaisers, all rifles.
So now we expect them to maybe take some more advanced positions over on the map there, perhaps similar to what we saw earlier on, but this time, again, it's not an even playing field in terms of the weaponry. Zipnix will be the only man for now over at this B site, and Device will eventually slither his way over in company of Dupree. Again, Zipnix trying to get early information, is sent packing now. Again, also doesn't gain much for it here. Two players here still ready. Astralis want to take a little bit more tighter, closer positions. Device obviously can work here with the Deagle. Dupree gets nothing done with his. And Device does see some bodies fall, not in the way he would like them though, and he's backing away now with very low health.
So far, HellRaisers keeping them at good range, not losing out on too much. HP's a little low, but they can weather a bit of the storm unless those headshots do start coming in. So the damage is being done, and Kerrigan stayed alive quite some time now. Deathfox does find Kirby, so finds one back here. And Kerrigan and Device, well, what can you do? I think it's time to back away. Exactly, because into the next round, you're not going to have much better than this. So again, looking to keep the economy as strong as they can at this point. And for HellRaisers as well, they're doing much better than their previous T-side, so big improvement.
I mean, here it's a bit different, I guess, at least in these last couple of rounds, where Astralis could sort of sit tight up on the sites on Mirage. They seem to want to go for a little bit more early information here. And it has proved costly, but this was a pistol force, bear that in mind. Does need to play out differently than your average gun round. Kerrigan does spot, I think it was a 0 over on the side or someone similar. He backs away over towards Ivy, and Device is going to be sat in spawn.
There it is, bomb plant for HellRaisers coming through, which is important, build up that economy, something they were severely lacking, as it was highlighted in the desk. They barely got a bomb plant throughout their entire T side. It was completely losing out on those opening jewels, not getting opening picks particularly, and if they did, it was incredibly costly. But as they went on the rifle purchase into the previous round, they need to be careful with their money here, maxing out about 3.9k on Deadfox. It might be a little bit of time until it gets the AWP, but we'll see how clean these rounds are. The two Eagles saved over could play a bit of a factor, but it's a standard 4-1 you get used to seeing here with Astralis. They can do that. Zipnix is normally very, very diligent at holding over by B, but this time it's Kerrigan. They split the numbers up, and actually it's working out very nicely. Device and Dupree, the D&D combo, coming up with what they need here.
Behind E-Box there, Dupree for the moment. He will be challenged out. Molotov is going to shake him out of position, but still great start to the round for Astralis. Have the player advantage, still have two Deagles in play. Dupree does fall to the late nade coming in over towards Pop Dog, and HellRaisers take a bit more of an advanced position up there. There's Bondig, the man on your screen, will make his way up top side now. Might just test B briefly. Kirby, this is maybe not a fight he really wants to take. That first shot was really the important one. Now he's given away his position, and Angel, well, trust Angel to want to try and finish the job, but he does. It is expensive for him health-wise, but still, he lives.
Device and Kerrigan, the last two are alive from the previous round, who kept hold of those Deagles, have made this so much more costly for HellRaisers than they'd expect. Now, Device, still curious about maybe Ivy here. HellRaisers didn't really show much from the exchange between Angel there and Kirby, so still have to be aware there could be a factor of it coming A, could be a B hit, but they're down to 35 seconds now for HellRaisers. They have 2 smokes to play with, but they need to check the corners and be very diligent about it. That's a great step for them, for Angel at least, and Kerrigan will be found. So HellRaisers stabilize eventually after a rather turbulent start into that round, and they'll be okay now. Deadfox can get the AWP through as well now, which would be a really nice factor that we wanted to see come out, but Device also has one as well. So buys all around here. And while Astralis do have, you know, decent utility, they've got the defuse kits because they got a couple of kills throughout those rounds. So again, not the worst start in the world for them, but now they want to start getting everything on the board.
Yeah, no, the buy is fine, I guess, for Astralis at this stage. Device doesn't really need to worry too much about his own utility. We'll see where he positioned himself fairly aggressively, hope for something early, can obviously back down the train if, you know, things get a bit hairy. Well, the flash came in, forced him back prematurely anyway. Sitnik's ready here to respond with a quick nade over towards Brown Horse, just chip a little bit of health away, give him time to set up, to receive. But no one from HellRaisers is testing yet.
And throwing my mind back to the Fnatic game we got to witness with HellRaisers, it was their B hit that was consistently impressive on their T side. That was quite surprisingly good, actually. And it was something that we saw in the kind of 4 spied rounds. You're like, oh, okay, that's pretty nice. But it transferred into their full gun rounds as well. It gives them a good couple of opportunities. So this could be quite a fun one to see go down here if that does become another factor. But at the moment, no one really posturing towards that. It looks like a far more intended A hit coming through. But Kiebi, Device, and Kerrigan all keeping tabs towards this one. You do have to Dupree very early on towards B. So
Fake.
again, the smokes go down. But keep your eyes on the bomb. That's a more important factor here, and it's Deadfox with it, and that's going in towards B. But there we go. Dupree gets found so quickly. Sitnix is still alive on the side, but Angel's done the deed. That's exactly what you needed, and now the split comes through. This is the perfect play. If Sticko can find the timing correct, he can go on that flank and really cut off the remainder. Kiebi also can find room to operate, however.
Yeah, the set play on A was nothing but an elaborate ruse here. It's allowed HellRaisers to get in through the door, and now Device hoping to bang it straight down himself. Angel does present. He will clean that one up fairly comfortably here. Sticko and Bondic in positions to challenge onto this one. Make it very, very hard for Kirby to get any sort of leg room as he wants to approach the side and try and help this one out. Now we can actually see the Astralis players on the minimap. They're pressuring over towards the bomb itself here, but Kirby wants to take the challenge and he loses out on it there. It doesn't go any better for the rest of the Astralis players over towards the side. Bondic and Deadfox will deliver them another round and also put Astralis back a step as they will need to just force pistols if at all here.
So in that round, every single player from HellRaisers finding a bit of a pick. So nicely played out for them, means the money gets nice and spread out. Still 0 is a little worse for Ware, but the rest are doing nicely for themselves. 7K sitting on Bondic. So he's going to be pretty fine. He can certainly kind of deal with a bit of a buffer here, but let's see what Astralis bring. Again, the upgraded pistols can do some work. We saw that before. A good couple of kills came towards their favor, leaving just Device and Kerrigan to try and do some more. That's a shot from Deadfox. Kiebi going to be kind of struggling there, but oh my lord, if only he knew Deadfox is in trouble now. He needs to back away from this. He does have support with him. There's a rifler right beside him in the form of Bondic, so he didn't have to instantly run off from that, but they are being cautious. You don't want to lose guns in this round.
Especially not the AWP there as well. After a good opening from Deadfox, he'd rather keep it to hand. Now Zero, nice adjustment there. Obviously not watching the main angle, having to swing in from the off, but he gets it done regardless. And now Astralis are wondering where they can sort of set themselves up to catch HellRaisers off. Their first few plays, looking for the information early, as it sort of hurt them in the pistol round, have fallen.
I'm wondering if they can find anything here. I like this approach from HellRaisers. It's very cautious, it's very meticulous. Just checking every corner, you don't want to lose out. As I said, they've got the mollies to do so as well. They can go for that final big hit with that. You know, you've got to watch their timing. They don't want to be flanked on. They don't want to give away much. But Zero's watching this, and he should keep watching this because, you know, CSGO timing is a real thing, and Kerrigan's going to be in trouble. 2 players about to peek in. Can't do much about that. Did tag up Bondic, but that's about all you're going to achieve. And instantly, Angel, just careful of the back.
Yeah.
Is someone going to push up?
Maybe trying to almost preemptively just turn from a flash there, but none was going to come through. It's just HellRaisers leisurely just traipsing their way down the corridor. Now, HellRaisers could have planted the bomb already. They're just making sure things are settled on this site. And Device and Dupree now have to play super long-range CS with nothing but CZ, so we may even try and see them sit.
Yeah, considering Dupree in the previous rounds had been supporting on B very, very quickly with Zipnix, that's not too surprising that maybe they were like, we haven't killed Dupree, he's still alive. Where is he? So you can see a little bit of time taken with that bomb plant, but you know, it might just be them being very, very careful as to not give anything away. So at this point, they have 5 alive. Great deals of utility saved over. Look at that. Deadfox has pretty much everything, as does Bondic. Not had to expend it just yet. They took their time and they did exactly what was required. And there's no easy pickups here. Look how far back and look how I guess, regimented HellRaisers are being. They're being very careful, and they're going to back off from this together. So no chance to get guns away here for HellRaisers, for Astralis. Very, very frustrating for Astralis there in this one.
And rounds like this are exactly what's going to give you the buffer money-wise.
Yeah.
You know, coming to the next few rounds, you can see
There's the 10K.
even Zero, who is struggling for money, now has more than he needs, and all he has to do, and most of his teammates as well, is just replenish a bit more of that utility. So that's possibly the ideal situation here. We are probably going to jump straight into attack pause, I'd guess, from Astralis now. Is
Technical.
Oh, another one. Okay.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with that. Hopefully that gets resolved nice and quickly, because we haven't seen much from Astralis yet. Their buy rounds kind of got swept aside. HellRaisers, I've got to be very honest. For me, I like their pace when it comes to this map. I like their approach to it, how they kind of pace themselves throughout. Very, very slow, but there's a little bit of punch that seems to come with Dead Fox now. I liked his play towards main. It was against a team who only had upgraded pistols, but I like the play. He went for it. Nice little quick flick, and you're seeing these explosive players really finding roles in what was previously more slow-paced, cautious teams. You look at obviously Na'Vi is the biggest example. Even NIP once they started to play with Threat being the coach in that one, or in-game leader as such. They hit that methodical, slower pace, but. Michael Ailey's kind of picked up a little bit where there was that bit of a gap with that explosive style. So quite a nice combination coming through so far. Not seen it come to too much of a challenge just yet for Dead Fox, but this could be the one where we see a little bit more coming back in. Astralis have had time to look at what HellRaisers are doing now. They've had that little bit of time now. A good 5 rounds gone past, and they can go, okay, well, we know what they're kind of doing here. Got a good read. I want to see some of that CT aggression maybe refined a little here, because we saw, Dupree just kind of running up pop. Probably not going to work out.
Or running into brown holes,
Yeah, it's just, I'd like a little refined, and then maybe we could have something quite interesting coming on. But again, at this point, it's still quite early into the game, but 5 rounds on the T side is nothing to be sneered at. This is very nice from HellRaisers.
Yeah, we're seeing minimal play towards Ivy as well from HellRaisers. They're more than happy to just approach that B site. But again, if you're looking at the form and you're saying, oh, look, HellRaisers have really recovered from this poor T side that we saw on Mirage, it's valuable to bear in mind that we've only really seen, the 1 gun round, maybe 2, but this would be one of the very few we've seen. So Astralis have a chance definitely to come back into this one and establish themselves. We haven't really seen enough. We don't have enough data to go off of to say that Astralis are, in fact, struggling on their CT side. Yeah, I mean, you're not winning any of those eco rounds. Fair enough. You shouldn't really be winning too many of them anyway. And a map like Train, it can be a little bit harder to do that, especially with the angles you're forced to play from.
Yeah, and let's bear in mind, Astralis have been the comeback kings recently. Their Fnatic game, just before this one, you said it earlier, they've had a lot of games to play out. So they've already pulled off 1 comeback against them. The previous map is a certain flagship of that sort of statement, and maybe they just want to do it here again. You know what I mean? They're like, we'll give them hope and then take it away from them. I don't necessarily agree that's the idea behind it, but I can imagine they can still easily recover. This is far from over.
Yeah, I mean, and in the last map as well, it's worth noting that Kiabi was above and beyond one of the strongest performances on the side of Astralis there. Obviously, yet really to break into this game. Not really given the equipment to do so. But worth keeping an eye on him. Sticko also was very, very good for HellRaisers. So someone who I think has just generally been really, really good. I'm thinking back to the Fnatic series, even on Cash when his team was sort of losing. He really managed to make a lot of opportunities happen or materialize there just off the back of himself. So, it's good to see the old hands, your Stickos and your Angels really start to make things happen. Obviously, Bondic more recently coming over from Flipside. Still waiting to see him really establish.
For me, I think Sticko's starting to become more and more of a standout player. It's the fact that he's able to deliver. It was, you saw that one-off Fnatic game, you're like, okay, well, he's had a good game. But even in the previous map, when they were winning, he was very, very influential towards it. Didn't see him be a game changer when it came to trying to find that comeback. That's maybe the next thing he can step towards. But at this point, he's been a really robust player. I like how he plays. He was on Cobblestone. He played the platform area consistently, be able to get away and read the economy so well that he'd know that, for example, Fnatic couldn't afford the mollies on their T side to clear out that corner. So he'd always show presence every now and then, keep them very, very humble about it, having to check it every single time, and then adapt off the back, play the stairs the next time. As soon as they went to check towards the corner, he'd be a vice versa play. So creating these really nice situations for himself. But yeah, I'm hoping we get to see more of that. And let's look at Dead Fox's performance so far as well. Into this one, he's been pretty robust. I think he's come into this lineup so far and done well. I don't think we've seen him being a shining beacon.
He wasn't a high flyer in that first map. But
I think Train's going to be a map where he's going to have a lot of play towards it, knowing the power that comes with the device and Kerrigan double AWP combination that can come out. That's going to be quite imperative to watch. So I wonder how he's going to handle it now, but we'll see. And it looks like Astralis have lost out on a player here. I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, possibly a disconnection. Einstein and everything. Obviously a disconnection, but maybe some lag problems there for that individual. I mean, we can talk about Zero as well. Another interesting factor into this team was touted as just an absolute machine when he was first brought into this lineup, and everyone was expecting great things from him. Similar in the way that people thought of Nex and some other players that have sort of made their way into tier 1 rosters and never really quite found that. I mean, the story of Zero is still yet to be written in full, of course, but his last few games have not been great, to be honest with you. The series against FaZe, who was underperforming. These last map actually against Astralis, not flash at all.
No. But yeah, this is one of those pauses where we don't get told an ETA. It's just depending on the Astralis player. So hopefully them coming back soon will be changing. We have no control over it, but yeah, it's pretty much down to the Astralis player to get back in the server. So however long that takes, it means that Rush starts to fly around. You know it's going to be one of those long delays when Rush starts to free cam. So guys at home, buckle in, go grab a beer. I don't mind, do what you want. You might want to, get settled in. We can do another AMA with Twitch chat if you want. Just have a little chat with you guys.
Oh, that was grand last time.
There's always a possibility. These sort of, you want to do some surfing, guys. You guys in chat. You can just, start really demanding things from us. I think it's good. But yeah, we don't know how long the delay's going to last. Rush, is this you observing while observing?
This is Observer Simulator. It's kind of like Job Simulator. You can get on the VR.
Yeah.
Similar. This is how he's going to practice. I mean, yeah, we can take questions from Twitch chat, Jen, if we can.
Yeah, we've got nothing else to do. You know what
but
I mean?
we don't. Yeah, I mean.
It's a nice mouse right there.
We will. We'll go to a break in the end. I think that's been.
Why would you do that? I want to talk to Twitch
I've been
chat,
told by production.
Guys, they take me away from you. All I want to do is sit here and talk about like Harambe and really sweet, sweet memes. Because I know that, for example, Chad is a huge fan of memes. Huge fan.
Really?
And buzzwords.
They like memes? I don't know. Anyway.
What?
That's new. Anyway, okay, now you can watch this this levitating cart that tends to disappear for a bit.
The shadows.
We're going to go to a break, and we are going to show you some spicy community plays. Actually, some decent ones in there this week, so enjoy. Well, I hope that's whetted your appetites, ladies and gentlemen, for some spicy CS, because we're about to get a little bit more now. Astralis are back into the game, at least in their entirety, and it's 5-0 in HellRaisers. This is that gun round we were talking about in anticipation. Yeah,
for Astralis, there are really some humongous plays coming out of this one. They really need to pick up pretty much
ball-tearing plays.
That's it, exactly. They just need to pick up a little bit more here. They started off on a bit of a low start, so now it's time to refresh yourselves, get back in the server, and get this one building up for yourselves. And there's Dead Fox already looking for opportunities down by Ivy. Carrigan and Gibby could have been possible targets, but not going to be the case. It's actually Bondic pushing forward, trying to give it more of an aggressive angle here.
Yeah, so I wanted to see what would sort of happen around that Ivy area, if anything at all. But so far in this round, it's just Angel actually just holding vigil. Kirby flashes himself through here, completely nails Bondic, absolutely wrecked. No really way to respond to that if you're not ready to turn the flash as it comes at you through the smoke. Nicely done. And that will just thin out the HellRaisers' presence a little bit more over this A side, or at least not allow them to sort of dig in there and have these positions they can spring from later on. They're going to have to do it now from outside of the site.
Nice position from Kievi that. Gonna get away with that one. No one to try and press the issue from HellRaisers, ready to punish for that. And
okay,
just
Kievi, all right.
Just in time. Yeah, Kievi's having a bit of a monster moment here. 3 kills already. Pretty much said, I'll just hold A. You guys don't worry about it.
Oh, fair enough from the man. To be fair, these were his first kills of the game in this round, mind you, so he's had a quiet start. Good time to wake up, no doubt about it. Now, Zero and Deadfox, well, a pittance, I guess, of utility to really work with here, considering there's only 2 of them. But they're going to go for this B site anyway. Zipnix just keeps himself hidden, doesn't show, and then really brings the curtain on down on Deadfox and Zero there. Nicely done. Does obviously affect them with that Molotov, make it a little bit easier. And Astralis, well, made that one look very, very simple. A cakewalk even, with Kievi opening the door for them quite comfortably.
Kievi just, what a nuts round from him. Like, those 3 kills are just game-changing sort of things. And he was having a very quiet start. I pointed out at the beginning, he hadn't got off to the big beginning. He had a good game on Mirage, but it certainly wasn't the building blocks that we expected coming into this one. But there it is. Now, HellRaisers built up that buffer, though. They had the perfect start to this one, so they can buy back in. And look at Angel, the aggressor himself, looking for any opportunity, any pixel out of place to punish. And there's 3 players around him that he can certainly find. A little bit of play towards Kievi, not going to be allowed to begin what he did in the last round.
Nice.
As now Angel takes a further step. Can he find these players? One's up in heaven over there. I think that's Dupree playing towards it. Device towards Connector. There's a lot of Astralis players here. They need to get this one going now, HellRaisers. They need to find these frags. You can't slow down at this point. Device lurks in the depths and finds Bonded.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Zipnix actually gets that spray down there. Device, we thought it might have been him, but Zipnix off for a little bit of a side angle. Also able to assist and stop the plant from going on. There were 7 or 8 smokes on the map to start with. That's how much HellRaisers were intent to get on towards the site. And of course, Astralis keen to try and lock them out. Otherwise, they fester like a wound in on the A site, and eventually they will come for you. But Angel, the instigator, started things off nicely earlier on. He's in a position to do some damage here. But he allows Deadfox to fall as he tries to leap upon that train and make something happen. It's going to be Zero. A pop flash, but no follow-up. And Angel, they're both split diagonally across this site up against 3 Astralis players, both of whose positions are being kept fairly well covered at this stage, especially Zero. He knows he'll be peeking into a bit of a conundrum here at this stage. He sees the bomb, he sees no one attending it directly, but he knows Astralis are waiting for him to push.
Aegis is trying to bait out, trying to give Zero a chance to move or get out to assist him, but nothing came from it. Yeah, he's pretty much stuck left, right, and center. This player's watching Astralis get their second. Now, between Zipnix and Device, they caught that one. I thought when Angel just burst through towards it, that was going to be the gate open. That could have been the floodgates really coming through, but HellRaisers couldn't get the bomb plant. They couldn't find any other kills. The crossfires that are already set up by Astralis really locked it out. So a tough one now for HellRaisers. Goodbye coming back in, and actually the double AWP presence. Now, curious who's going to pick that one up here. I think they're not particularly sure either.
Angel.
So Angel and Deadfox going to be running that.
So HellRaisers, that's kind of a bit of a giveaway here. Angel might look for an early peek on towards Ivy, then a sort of follow up on that one as he approaches. Carrigan, of course, with the AWP in Ivy is a very common spot to see that one there, as he can sort of assist as well towards tunnels. Won't see a heck of a lot of action, though, for the moment here. Angel does want to test, though. He would like to go down, just in case someone's tucked around the corner. Excuse me. No one is there. Carrigan just waiting on the angle. Going to be a flash in. This will force Carrigan back towards the side. Enough time for the man to come back in for the repick, though, so still need to be careful. And Zipnix does spot out a couple of players coming towards B. Still, no way for Astralis to really know where the true intent for HellRaisers is in this round. And Angel wins out there at Ivy. That's big. That's an opener here. That's going to force Astralis now into action over on this A side. Kirby comes forward, hoping to cut maybe a rotation off, or anyone for that matter. Smokes himself, walks through, finds himself a little niche amongst the clouds, but won't see too much else for the meantime. And Deadfox finds Zipnix there as he peeked on towards Brown Holes.
And that's the important one. That's the site now open. It means the Device has to rotate. Now, of course, HellRaisers don't know that yet. They don't know that the site is completely clear. There's been occasionally 2 players playing it, but they're going to take the risk. This is that hit that I really like from them. Smokes up, plays coming in. There is a player towards that upper kind of catwalk area, but Device not going to spot him out, but he does find Bondic. The bomb is now on the site. It's a 3v3. We've got a molly with Deadfox and a flash in the hands of Zero. On the other side, only flashes. So again, no smokes to kind of work that one out if there is the molly put down, but Deadfox, bit of worth his weight in gold at this point. Down to the 2v2 though, he still has to be relevant to this round.
And Zero needs to be doing something as well from uppers there. He's allowing his teammates to fall, and he hasn't really had a peek in. Not even a look in towards the side. Finds Kirby now. No Molotov left to delay this one. So it's going to have to pop flash himself out there, but Dupree sort of beats him to the punch there. That was Zero's flash that Dupree didn't even see. And the Molotov now in this dictates that Zero has to sort of go around or run through. He could do that, a bit of a ballsy play, but no. Zero goes around. He's got
to hit the shot instantly. It's going to be right about there. There it is. Zero just about makes it in time, right around the site. That was... Oh, a little close.
Yeah, I mean, again, how do you know if they're faking? You know, he could have pushed through the Molotov there and gone for a bit of a play, but already being low health from that, and if it was a fake, it wouldn't have worked out. So nice by Zero just to bide his time there and give his team the round. Still Astralis, not yet a settled economy, Lauren. Mag 7 for Dupree, 3 guesses where he's headed.
Yeah, hopefully this time doesn't go up the ladder itself, but you can go, actually, to be fair, do what you want with the Mag 7. Those things
Your effective
annoyingly
range
viable.
is longer than you realise sometimes.
Yeah, it's really obnoxious with the shotguns at the moment. But,
Blame Splice for that.
how dare you?
Screaming, you heard him screaming in Katowice every time they got a kill with the shotguns and combo. That was great.
That was...
Davey and co.
Great's a strong word.
Professor Chaos.
Yeah,
that
it was.
That was the dream.
Yeah. Now, Zimnix can nade this. And it's good. Catches 2. Not perfect. It's not the biggest damage in the world, but it's a little something just to remind him, keep him humble on this one. It looks like a massive set play towards B, at least for now. I don't know if they're going to commit, but you've got 3 players here rather than the 2 they normally kind of tender with.
That kind of nade damage as well lets you sort of get the 1 dink kills as well with some of these M4s, because obviously it's not, you don't get insta-kill, but now when they're down to 77, 55, yes. So 1 headshot with an M4 will actually secure the kill. So it actually means a lot more, especially for CTs. For Ts, yeah, not so much. Of course, he's still going to do the same with a headshot from an AK, going to get the job done in 1. But still handy. Don't know if it really matter here, just a tidbit for you. Many of you will know that already. The Dupree there with the Mag 7 going to miss the second shot and back away here. Can't really run too far in case HellRaisers try and sort of capitalise, and he just walks in and just pins Zero to the wall. They're blown backwards. Would have been quite cinematic there in real life, but now that leaves just Bondic on his own up against 4. It's back and forth, tit for tat CS here. Bondic manages to at least extricate himself from the clutches of Dupree. But now he needs to get towards his site. There will be
20 seconds, yeah. He's taking the risk, and the risk doesn't work out. He was looking for where Device was, but Kerrigan very, very present in that, so not going to let that slip. But their money's still not brilliant, but neither is HellRaisers, so at least it kind of balances out a bit here. They can go for the SMGs if they want to push towards main, but no, they choose to go straight towards the rifles. They need to stabilize.
I mean, Dupree had a decent bank build up on him for the most part, so it's not really the worst. I mean, you get everything you want, essentially. I mean, with the exception of the FAMAS, which is obviously not ideal. Still decent for Astralis to work him on here. Where HellRaisers going for the far more sensible route here. Probably going to be a bit of a rush towards the B side here. They only have the smoke to facilitate their approach. So maybe even hoping that, you know, again, Zipnix characteristically tries to find something early in brown holes. He's done it a couple times this game and given away the ghost, as it were.
It's not surprising that he'll be a little bit cautious on this, because
well, we'd hope so.
Yeah, because you know that it's such a easier bomb plant to get on the B site. You can smoke off one of the avenues, pour out, or, you know, maybe 3 to it if you fancy, and you can get a plant. You won't be able to sustain the retake, but you can get a plant. So you've got Dupree over here early, and as soon as they see the smoke, they're going to know what's coming their way. The smoke actually will draw the attention towards the right side, where there's still 3 players pushing towards the left, but Dupree's not having any of it. He wants to deny them the bomb plant, but that's not the bomb. It's with Angel, and they don't get the plant as well. That's quite big, actually, from Astralis, really keeping that round in check. Nice combination between the two of Dupree and Zipnix, and the money is a bit low. They can still get a buy, but it's just not a nice one.
I mean, you got Galils, or do you force pistols on this occasion? I don't know. I mean, HellRaisers, yeah. Tech 9's coming out, so they force pistols. It's not really, it's a bit of a cruddy threshold to really work on money-wise there. I mean, you can buy Galils, you're probably going to lose out to M4s and AWPs anyway, so fair enough and reasonable for them, as they'd probably like to put an AWP, especially back in the hands of Dead Fox, and see what he can do with it.
Oh, this is a new style. Device hasn't quite done this just yet. Needs to back away from that now. Did at least take a peek.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Device that kind of player that does go for early peaks fairly often.
Yeah.
To be fair, fancy more the way Cajun B does on maps like Dust 2, but again, it also always comes down to actually connecting that shot. And in that case, for Device, it's really no harm, no foul. I mean, he gives away his position. They know there's sort of an AWP over on this site, but that's all. So you're not really too upset with that, although you'd love to have started off strong there. But if you don't go for those early peaks, well, you're obviously not going to get them.
No, and it's a very Device-esque thing. It's nice to see him going for that, you know. It became such a factor on things like Overpass that people love to watch, was the fact he'd always go for these kind of aggressive, quick peaks. And I think it's really good with AWPs to be doing on this map. So nice smokes come in. HellRaisers looking for those plants, looking to cut that site a little bit closer so they can actually get some damage done, and there's the first. Bondic will find Kievi, but stretching beyond this is going to be tough. He does at least recover the gun, and maybe I spoke too soon. Bondic tried to get some more, but he found 2, and that'll do. They do recover the AWP as well with Zipnix. And for Astralis, they've got good money, 10k sitting on Dupree.
Yeah, I mean, and Kievi lost to FAMAS there, so
not
really
the end of the world.
Rebuying for this stuff, for the most part, actually, it's just a couple of M4s, so you're happy with that, indeed. And Astralis now, 1 round between them and HellRaisers. HellRaisers obviously started really quite nicely, dealt with the first gun round handily. And now, since then, it's very much been back and forth as Astralis brought back in on that 6th round and managed to win it out. And now they've managed to make themselves 4 more rounds since then. Smoke up Sticko. What's the Zipmix here? I don't mind this, using that smoke. Hard to read into this situation now. As HellRaisers, Deadfox might peek this corner or not. Shoulder peek comes in. I don't even know if that was intentional. It wasn't even shoulder peek. Deadfox just showing a bit more than he maybe would have liked to. He's got no armor, bear in mind. Glass cannon.
I like that from Zipnix, you know what I mean? Like, before, Device does want to give them the Brown Horse control with the AWP. Now he gives it a go. Just keeps them, keep them working for this sort of play. You can't just do those defaults. You can't instantly get the Brown Horse now. You have to kind of work a little bit for it. And I think that's a good way to keep people on their toes a bit here. Because Sticko's not committing anywhere just yet. This was what looked like the play that ended up on A eventually, which is kind of weird to say, but it kind of built off the back of it. But Sticko can, I guess, turn wherever he feels like off the back of this. If they get a pick somewhere, they can build off it. If not, we'll see. But here we go. So the smokes go down towards A. The players on B start to split in. Zipnix and Debris have not rotated either. So they're both here and ready and willing. Now Zero's found both, actually. That's massive. That's the B side open. Sticko's going to surely go for this. He has to go towards B. They've got everything. Again, if Zero does more, this is perfect. I mean, we need to watch Zero here. He did get overwhelmed in the end by Carrigan. So again, he's gone down. Deadfox still selling that B.
Get back to A.
And
Oh
wow,
my God.
back and forth we go. Now Device, can he make this different? Yes, he can. Finds Angel. Now Sticko again goes back towards B. They don't know where to go. It's back and forth, depending on where those picks came from.
It's also okay, though, because when Sticko sat in Pop Dog, he's not costing himself too much time deciding. So it's a great position to be in. Who cares if you take a couple steps in either direction there? If your team are continuing to feed you back information, you want to make the right decision. You don't want to sort of, commit too early there. That's why, I mean, Pop Dog's such a powerful position for the T's if you actually have control of that. And you know that you've managed to whittle the numbers down, and Dick just that. Oh my God, does just that. Seriously, fluency not a thing for me tonight, but still, AWP goes over. And
to be fair, I'm a little taken back from that shot not landing from Device. That looked kind of on him. I don't know if it was.
Well,
I don't
the problem is I was halfway
to
saying that he was going to get the kill. That's what wrecked me, and then Bonnet came through. So you can't get ahead of yourself in CS. It's one of the games where very interesting results get thrown in your face quite often.
Yes, but yeah, kind of interesting. But HellRaisers is back in a position of power is a strong word, but they're back in a position where they can challenge this one out. Good T-side so far. 7 rounds of the T-side is nothing to be sneered at, but sneered at? What on earth am I saying?
That's the German now coming in.
It's taken 3 years, Mitch, but finally I'm picking it up, you know what I mean? Just schneert, and that's it. That's the only word. It's not even a real German word, probably.
Well, no, but it doesn't matter, because you make the SN word, you say SH. That's great.
Oh, no. Oh, no. As if this is how it happens. Oh, Lord above. Right, so I'm just become overly British for a little while, as I feel dirty. HellRaisers going to go for what looks like an A pinch. You've got the 2 players over by Ivy, 2 towards main, and Zero's still by Pop. So it looks like that. I wonder if Zero's going to try and sell a bit more towards B. But again, 1 minute left on the board. Plenty of mollies to clear out these corners, but Astralis are holding back on their utility as well. So they haven't put down all their smokes yet either.
We have Deadfox and Angel positioned towards Ivy here. And with Astralis in such advanced positions over on the A side, HellRaisers won't know this because obviously CTs will hold Ivy from one of the sides, and you really don't know which one it's going to be sometimes. Obviously the right side, if you're a CT, is the more safe because you can back away around the corner. But Kirby, that's more of a passive attention towards Ivy now. Just throws that Molotov in, and that might be enough for Deadfox and Angel to try and get more out of it there. The smoke comes in, and that will allow them at least to know that the right side is what they're safe from. But Kirby's up on the train there, so we'll see them still, and he will win out there. So without directly being in Ivy, he still manages to control it quite nicely. Now HellRaisers have to move elsewhere over the map here. They're trading out back and forth, and Kirby with the spray down, but it's not going to be enough. Deadfox finds Kirby. Sticko falls down now, the 1v2. And Deadfox has to go and get the bomb as well. That's a pain in the neck, especially with Carrigan and Zipnix set up at least for a trade. Was it 3 seconds? 4 seconds. Has to be on 4, I think, as he plants. So.
And he knows that. He's going to be rushed. No toys about it. He has to hit a ridiculous shot to even stay alive here. And he tried to do something a bit impressive. It's not going to work out. Carrigan on the retake coming through. And Astralis, again, come back into it.
This is a really interesting half, actually, especially given the way the HellRaisers started it off, and now sort of how it's sort of swung back and forth a little bit there. HellRaisers have their own economic hardships.
Yeah.
Again, I would say that we're looking at that now. I mean, 5,800 on towards Bondic can probably spare some weapons for his teammates, but it's possibly unlikely he does that. Would he go for a clean eco here would be interesting.
Wait.
Yeah, okay. Not quite.
Weird little purchase. So a scout or 2
and no
P250s.
utility.
Yeah. 1 smoke on Bondic. So that's what they've got here. Carrigan might just go and ruin their hopes and dreams at this point. Just like, no.
First time he's done this, actually, all game. But he knows, obviously, they're saving through, so... Oh,
lovely. Absolutely lovely towards Deadfox. So that could have gone a bit dangerous, but really, we're just handling it very, very swiftly. Absolutely love that. So now 3 left for HellRaisers. Limited options. Bomb still pretty much near spawn. Not going to get much play out of this one, Sticko. You got to be hoping for a little bit more than you're going to get. And Carrigan tested again over by Ivy, however.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the first time it's happened to him. I kind of like the idea of astralis having a very hands-off approach to Ivy control and then putting Carrigan straight up there to catch them off there. You know, as if HellRaisers maybe had an idea that we can actually get through here. Maybe their default setup doesn't involve having an AWP here at the moment. Maybe they want to have more presence forward on A. But no, astralis mix it up at the right time there as well. It does make sure that that sort of anti-eco round for them doesn't cost them really much at all. Just utility being brought back and out for the guys.
All right, at least HellRaisers get a nice buy now. Nice enough. You know, this is what you can hope for. You got Deadvolk's actually on armor. And Sticker, the guy that I was hyping up saying, you know, he's been a really big influential factor, is having a really, really quiet game. I don't know where he's gone here on this half. Not good. Not good at all. So a little disappointing. Device going to go for the info over by the Brown Horse, and he's going to find Sticko. And if the odds were going to stick to the way that you'd expect, Sticko would have fallen there. But it might be Zipnix to do that sort of work for him. And well, it looked a little bit like lag then. But no, Zipnix will be able to back away from that. No harm, no foul, a little bit tagged up, but does enough to fend them off. And Dupree starts to get itchy then. He wants to get around the back. He wants to try and do some flanking. And
I like this because you can have 3 players at B for astralis when Dupree is staying towards Popdog or listening out or at least able to catch anything happening there. It gives you a bit more peace of mind about committing so many players to it here. But it may still not work out there. Zero finds Kirby, who himself, to be fair, was positioned a long way forward. That might have just been an information play to justify Dupree being sat there at Popdog. But Dupree can't challenge right now. He doesn't know where the rest of the HellRaisers players are sort of positioned. He already did try and challenge Popdog in the pistol, and that went really badly for him. Bondic will be prepared, trying to set up for his own "this is Sparta" moment if it's going to be required. But I don't think it will be at this stage. Maybe an execute on towards this B site here for HellRaisers. So the first few trades coming through have to go on astralis' favour here. Some clean kills would be great for them now to hold off while they wait for those reinforcements to come through.
And no push. Device left wanting more at this point. Looking towards that ramp. He's got Zipnix behind him. And now he gets the info. Sticko finally comes up with some kills here. A kill, should I say. But one that could matter a hell of a lot. Dupree falls by Pop, which also opens up A. Now, the last 2 plays for astralis is split between the sites. Carrying on A, left by Enslowsome. No one's pushing that. It's down to Zipnix, and he can't get the damage done. And now just Carrigan in the 1v4. And you might as well go for it. And that's about as well as it can go.
I almost feel like that incendiary that was used as a budget flash to let Zipnix go forward. Because the problem was for astralis in that round, especially on the B side, they didn't actually have enough utility to allow them to get that information, right?
Yep.
And I think it was Dupree was sitting towards Popdog, like, I don't know, guys. I don't really know where they are. I can't go up the ladder and test them. So then it's like, all right, let's throw a molly and hope the incandescence makes it harder for them to spot Zipnix, who goes for a peek and then dies. So not ideal, but still a very close half between these 2 teams, Lauren.
I don't want to read into anything because I don't know how good they are in the second half, because we saw what happened on Mirage. Ugh. It could happen all over again.
Yeah, cool, but it's a much closer affair now at halftime, so we'll see how this match concludes after the break. Well, we've seen a curious half played out between these two teams, Lauren. It was HellRaisers to get off to a flying start early on. Astralis, though, clawed their way back. And a bit of an interesting round at the end of the half there does give us a very tight scoreline at 8-7 in favour of HellRaisers.
Yeah, but again, after Mirage, I'm not going to read into anything. After seeing, you know, such a drastic change from a team from one half to another, I've got to hope that HellRaisers can keep this up so we get a nice competitive matchup. For me, I'd still say that, you know, Astralis overall, you've got to assume they'll come into this being the better team. They should have far more played out, written into their heads. You know, let's bear in mind that HellRaisers have come in with a new player. DevFox has just come in and joined up.
That's
so,
right.
you know, things should be different. It shouldn't be able to kind of go this one-sided. So, well, not even one-sided, but, you know, this close, this competitive. But we'll find out any second now as Astralis get themselves ready for their T side, and they can only hope it goes better than, well, what we previously saw.
Yeah, I mean, and Astralis' pistol round to kick the match off wasn't great either. They just pushed very deep for information on that CT side and were, well, executed quite summarily as it was. But now, it's the 5-man stack. Is it the rush B don't stop, or do they use Pop Dog? That will be the interesting question here.
Oh, it looks
Fairly
like the
advanced
rush,
positioning here,
just a contact play. Here we go. So literally just stepping in, contact play towards B.
Works out.
And HellRaisers actually have 2 players waiting though. That's the next problem. I don't know if they're going to commit, and now they scatter. Like,
I like it.
just like hands just go quickly towards one place and then get the pick and back away. Make it, you know, start legging it elsewhere, and that's actually going out pretty well for them so far.
Scatter.
Zipnix does have the molly still. Angel forced to take this fight. I don't think he can escape willingly. He does make it away on 17 HP. Kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean, he tucked himself into position, hoping Astralis would just breeze past him in towards Ivy, but getting away from a sort of a protracted fight off towards the left is kind of hard for him. He definitely sacrifices a lot of health to do so. So, good damage being done early by Astralis. Still haven't committed to a side, though, but that's sort of fine. They've got 50 seconds left to go, and even now DevFox being challenged out. Carrigan, though, tries to sidle away as to give himself up, but it's allowing Dupree at least to come in and get the kill. With Zipnix finding Angel, and now Dupree getting up in towards Heaven. This is a lot of site control over A for Astralis. It's unlikely that HellRaisers will be able to prize it out of their grip. 0 there. That's the Filipino diving team special, that one. Nice work. And now Bondic left on his own. If you haven't seen the Filipino diving bloopers, you should definitely YouTube them. They're absolutely fantastic. But Bondic now in a 1v3, make it 1v3 after he takes down Kirby at least. But no, Dupree not going to allow this to get any further out of hand. And Astralis take the pistol. They equalise the score for the first time since the very first round.
There we go. So Astralis is going to go straight towards the rifles on 2. I wonder where the others. An SMG on Carrigan. Considering that when HellRaisers picked up the first, they went straight towards the Galils and the rifles. No SMG to be found, so they went for that, you know, straight up start. Zipnix, he's got the UMP. Okay, so UMPs, a couple of rifles here and there, not too much else. And on the other side, just upgraded pistols. You've got the Deagle coming out, DevFox absconding from buying into this because he wants to get the AWP as early as he can. Completely fair by me. Don't mind him on that. And Astralis going for a big hit towards A. 3 down Ivy, 2 through T main, and now DevFox surrounded. Can't do much with that, and you want to get those SMGs building up the kills first and foremostly, but Dupree fancies a bit of a time in the spotlight, catching 2, leaving 0 and Angel reeling.
Well, it's shoot to kill for Dupree. Doesn't really matter if it's less money for him once they secure the round, because Astralis definitely need them right now. Angel, they're going to shut Kirby right on down. It's going to be a bullet to the brain. Put him right back into the next round. Now it's still only 2 players for the Astralis to work into this situation, and honestly not great. They're really just hoping to sit back and find some kills. They got no intention really of testing the bomb. They don't have any kits bought into this round as it was that pistol forced to follow. So whatever they can get here is a bonus from here on out. The round is essentially lost. Cheeky UMP pick up there for Angel.
And I love the way Device is throwing away his AK so he doesn't lose it at this point. He threw it far enough that if he lost the fight, it'd be such a long run that they wouldn't be able to recover it. He did win out with the USPS in the end and collects his rifle and heads back around. So 0 will be able to stay alive with the CZ. There's nothing else he can hope for to go out of this round with. No chance of a defuse, and none of the Astralis going towards his way. So he does at least get the UMP, which I guess is a little bit of silver lining. Little bit.
Yes. Well, it was 7-7 in the first half, by the way, so 8-8 wasn't the first time the game was even, but it just sounds nicer to say that way. Bit of a brain fart, but that's the way it goes. UMP, though, for 0. I don't even know if Astralis sort of realised that 0 didn't pick, or whoever picked that up, it wasn't 0, it was Angel, didn't pick that up until later on. Maybe that's why Device was wanting to still challenge and throwing away the AK. Doesn't matter, though, now, as this is fairly aggressive positioning on the CT side here for HellRaisers, hoping to put these pistols to good use. If it works out, well, Astralis are going to make minimal progress here, but Kirby already prepared for this, already checking.
I actually like this from a CT side. I like the way you have to force something to happen, right? You have to make the play. You got pistols. What else are you gonna do? You've got to take the fight to them somehow. Try and play a little bit unorthodox, a little bit quirky. The double smoke towards connector, probably a little bit of miscommunication, but gets the job done. It's all you need. They've got the bomb plant now. Now they need to be a little bit careful because they haven't seen anyone else from HellRaisers. So you can make the assumption that it was probably a B stack, but then Kerrigan's here, so it's like, where are you guys? So caution aplenty from astralis. Even just not seeing them will give them a... Oh, lovely shallow.
Very accurate over all those shots.
Yeah, lovely.
Get yourself a gun for your trouble there, Sticko. Nicely played. Does have himself there. He's having to work him with. But now astralis, what's going to be the full contact here?
No.
And for HellRaisers, it goes heavily in their favour. Of course, the bomb ticking away, but that is just messy. That corner of massacre, we'll call it for now. But Sticko now has to challenge close up with this SMG. Able to throw the flash in, but that bomb's going to go up regardless here.
He's the guardian of the guns. He doesn't allow Sticko to get in. The bomb will do the job for him, but I love the way Dupree was holding that angle, and Kiebi was like, I'm just going to go and fight them. Like, banged it around the corner, and Dupree tried to join him and just got taken down at the end because of that. Absolutely glorious. But 10-8 being the scoreline. Money not as good as it could have been for astralis, because they could have really kept hold of some of those guns, but HellRaisers making it costly there eventually after that. A little bit of a foray, let's say, last round, but big buy coming in. This is the one we want to be seeing. What does Device do? What does Dead Fox do? Do they get that instant battle? Dead Fox is watching the back of Ivy, so he's you know, at the back of Ivy, so he could take a little bit of a swing and a pee. Careful, Dead Fox, just going into the angles a little bit. Mental, if I'm honest. Now Dupree's got himself out already, man. That's gorgeous. Finding Angel straight away. A little bit of his own medicine there.
And now he's sat on that side. He's festering away, right? HellRaisers need to deal with him. They need to sort of dig him out of there very, very quickly. Otherwise, there are going to be more astralis players creeping into position. Dead Fox puts himself in a compromising spot. Then the Molotovs actually dictated his movement into the corner. He couldn't back away towards the left or down the corridor around the side. And now HellRaisers, not a kill in this round. The gun round that was supposed to really get them back into this one or keep it competitive at the very least to try and limit the economy building up for astralis might not be a possibility, but Sticko still gets himself two. There goes up towards heaven, pretty predictable positioning, and Care be able to take him out. 0 falls there. 2 casualties on the side of astralis, but not a heck of a lot else. And HellRaisers, well, you can see that they are definitely going to be digging in the pockets for the spare change.
Right, so HellRaisers, money not looking good. Getting a couple of flashbacks, having a little bit of a consider of what's going to go on here. What can they do? Because last time they were pretty successful at making it costly towards astralis, but I don't know if HellRaisers can do that twice. Surely not. They are going to go for that same B style, style stack for players heading up. Just one kind of saying, "Hey guys, we're still at A, I promise you." Not the case, but astralis seem aware of this now. They are keeping this one well and truly in mind.
And again, much the same from HellRaisers with this aggressive positioning here on the CT side. Now, last time was Kiebi in this position, and he didn't actually know this was happening. He didn't push it far enough down Brown Halls to actually discover what was waiting for him. So for Dupree, again, an intuition, an expectation of maybe some advanced positioning from the HellRaisers. He's not wrong, but he won't have that confirmation necessarily here. And I don't know if the HellRaisers are really going to try and forge ahead for more information. I mean, it's a bit annoying now. You've got 4 players committed, and you actually don't know what's happening. And with Angel in Ivy. astralis giving this round the respect it deserves, though. It's safe to say. Because at least Dupree may just test this. Losing both those bodies for astralis wouldn't be a great start to the round and give HellRaisers a couple of guns in hand. Now, somewhat of an execute over towards A. At least just a flash thrown in here. So it won't actually change HellRaisers' minds. They're staying put for the moment here. Going to allow astralis to work in. If they need to play a retake with these pistols, I guess they're just going to have to resign themselves to it.
Nice approach from astralis, taking their time to see if there was a push, using their mollies and smokes to create the chance to get a clean entry towards the site. They've not lost out on a single player yet. The retake probably wouldn't get... Oh, Zipniks, don't do that. Don't do that. Just listen to the the fabled tale of Dupree going up there. You know what happens.
Yeah, it's just annoying. It's frustrating for astralis because they have no idea what HellRaisers are doing. And they can probably conject to a reasonable degree that they were all set on the B site. Obviously, now they have control of A. That very much is a certainty. But sometimes not knowing is quite frustrating, even if they're not shooting you at the time. So HellRaisers is doing absolutely nothing except just jostling themselves into a better position here. And astralis just back out. What a weird... this is a bizarre round.
Did anyone take damage? So Dupree took some damage, as did Angel, but that's it. Before the bomb plant, I don't think anyone took any damage. And there we go. Finally, someone dies. That's it. So that was basically a round 1 with no one dying.
Very interesting to see Counter-Strike play out in that, mate. Fair enough to HellRaisers. That's good discipline, at least, to be waiting there on the B side. Sometimes when you do stack, if you don't commit to it, you can get caught in a really compromising situation, and maybe, you know, they do end up hitting that site and you're already off, you know, smelling the roses on other parts of the map. So Double AWP comes in here for HellRaisers, Sticko and Dead Fox. Sticko having quite a game thus far.
Well, they need to change something up because they're just simply not dealing with what's going their way. And Dead Fox taking the late peek towards What? Did that just hit the flash?
I'm not sure.
I want to watch that back on a replay.
I think I tagged the side of the wall.
I seriously want to watch that back. I don't know if it got through the wall or the flash itself. I'm not sure, but that was kind of odd. I don't know. It looked like it hit the flash. You got the little
there
spark
is a
off
blood
it,
splatter on that wall.
It did tag him, but I don't know. Anyway, I'd love to watch that back in slow-mo and see if I'm just stupid, which is also a very big possibility. But Zero gets away with a couple of seconds of life that maybe shouldn't have there. But it is Astralis now with 3, but they've got a good step towards the B site. Kerrigan's going to be pretty much put to the task of applying the bomb.
Yeah,
that's your job.
That Molotov bought him a lot of time, actually, as well. I mean, they might not have realised it, but no one from Astralis was, well, HellRaisers, sorry, was in position to actually come in through the spawn. And now Dupree going to be waiting there for Dead Fox. It's all worked out very, very well on the clock for Astralis. And a pop flash from Dupree. Going to get a bit aggressive, going to go for it. Push out just perfectly. Sticko, sorry, mate. I know you might be in shape, but that is a thin pole. That's a thin pole. You can't hide behind that.
No. And Dupree, I love the little bait of the shot just before the flash as well. So like the turning just kind of like messes it up. That was really, really nice. 13-8 though. This is Astralis looking very dominant on their T side. This was kind of what I was worried about. And I'm wondering, was it through the wall?
It hit the flash.
It hit the.
Or
yeah, it hit the flash. It didn't even tag him. Is that real?
I guess collisions can happen in this game. I mean, I guess that flashes are actually, if they can collide with players, they can collide with bullet projectiles. Technically, I guess, but
I've
I don't
seen
know
it
if
with
that's the way the
guns before
netcode
as
works.
well. Yeah, that's really weird. I think like I can't wait for Reddit to like dissect that. But at the moment, there's not much to talk about. Even though it's a gun round, HellRaisers has just been swept aside. This has been a blink and you miss it sort of thing.
This is possibly the game here in this round. It's such an important round for HellRaisers, and to lose it out here is seriously bad. Seriously bad. It's not good. I'll give you the big tip. They got no money to really work off the next round with either. Yeah, round loss bonus is a thing. But not that much of a thing. My God. My God, Dan. And even Sticko as well. Yeah, 8 and 15. Dan. So not been a game for him where he's often been a stalwart for the side of HellRaisers. And Astralis are looking very much improved here in the second half. Zero wants to try and hold onto his gun. Oh, this is nasty. This is just like a Saw movie here. Gives him the idea he might be able to escape. He's probably going to be shut down, and he does. And the flames will consume him and leave not a trace. Especially after the round resets and his corpse is removed from the map. But there it is. So 14-8 now. Money, shocking for HellRaisers. To be fair, same as the last few rounds for them. Haven't had a look in the second half. The same as we saw on the previous map. What is happening? And this time, you can't even use the excuse like, oh, yeah, their T side in general is bad, because they played T side in the second half of Mirage. Now they're playing the CT side here on Train. Both times, they just run out of gas.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on this. This is why I didn't want to get excited, right? I was sat there just going, because for some reason, they don't seem to have the longevity. Whereas Astralis have actually buckled down. It's kind of weird. Normally, Astralis, you can fame them for all their quote-unquote chokes, but at the moment, they're just going through the motions. They've got those really impactful hits going down towards A. They've been doing really well. Kerrigan checks out the corners, doesn't become sloppy in that aspect, finds Angel. But now, timing could be a factor for Device here. Can't land the jumping orb, thankfully. No more CSGO quote-unquote action goes down, but this could be deadly. Kievi's whiffing a good couple of shots and gets punished. Yeah.
I mean, it's not really going to be enough, though. I mean, Bonic wants to try and abscond with some sort of weapon if he can. I think at this stage, Astralis can buy into this. What, do they force this round? No, they can buy it in the next round, but still not great now. They're going to be challenging out. Bonic, though, excuse me?
The man who will not be moved. He's doing everything he can here.
And now we're set on the bomb as well. 3 kills for the round. No point using a Molotov with so much smoke in front of you, but that is just a little bit interesting from Astralis. Let's go past the bomb, boys. So now, they don't even have multiple angles, really. Molotov comes in, Zipnik jumps across it, but he can't get to the bomb. 40 seconds left in the round, so enough
Bondic,
time. This is diabolical from Bondic. Just to sneak away. Astralis are like, okay, boys, we've got the bomb, but is he still there? They've got to use utility just to get this bomb away. They see he's long since left, but now the question is, where's he gone? Down Ivy or Pop Dog?
Go on, Bondic. Treat us to something incredible here. They're not checking this. Now they look. Now they find him, and Kerrigan just turns. But Bondic made a really good go of that. The same old standard nice try that you tell them. That was a nice try. That was a really good try. But 15-8, the problem is HellRaisers never got off to a good start here. They've never impressed. They didn't do anything spectacular, and they've been very lackluster on the CT side. It's a shame because on their T side, they looked impressive. They looked like a team that could bring a competitive matchup. We haven't seen it transfer into the second half.
And it's their last chance here as well. They're going to have a few if they can at least win this round, and at least they have guns. They have everything they need after a bit of a poorer buy in the last round. They just need to be solid. They just, need to take a leaf out of Bonding's move and just set their feet in and stand their ground. Astralis have been surgical in breaking open this A side, especially in recent times, but Angel going to take more forward positioning here as well. That smoke benefits him for the most part now, as no one in Pop Dog can actually see him, even though they're actually boosting Dupree over the smoke, I think, in there. Yeah.
You can just see on top of the trains, which is basically, I think it was actually Anders who's one of the first people who really publicly talked about that, where you can smoke it yourself and then peek above and just check the top of the trains, which is quite a nice little touch. How positions like Bondix in, it's just waiting for them to push, simple as that. And it's all a matter of patience, hit those shots for HellRaisers, and they just haven't had much of it here. And that bomb's slowly creeping towards kind of top of Pop, going towards B, edging around. Dead Fox being sold a bit of a kipper here, keeping his presence very much attentive towards that Ivy area, but that's not where the bomb's going.
It was one of the most interesting mind games in CS, actually, the way Ivy plays out. But Karrigan actually pushed Ivy. He's pushed Ivy. You can see it on the minimap. He's come straight forward here. Molotov comes in, but now over on the B side, some action is occurring. HellRaisers, though, it's just not working for them. They lose 0 so early on, and Sticko falls. It's going to be a disappointing performance from HellRaisers if it goes this way. The duct tape on the train there, they're going to need more than that to patch this one together. They've got 2 players left. Maybe Angel chucks some in his pocket for later on anyway, but Molotov, again, got to force him back. And we know Angel, he wants to get aggressive, he wants to take the fight here, but Astralis have so much time to get position.
See, it's all good and well and try not to get around that or you're taking their time on it, but Kiebi's already secured that CT's clear. He's going to hear this, and now Kiebi can be the one to finally just... There you go, look at that, just dismembering them at the end.
And that's not HellRaisers going out with a roar, a proud one. It's them rolling over with a whimper and submitting. It's Astralis, they're rolling over the top of them here on train. A much more solid, a much more comprehensive performance from the Danes on this second map. Obviously, Mirage was a bit of a funny one there, as we did see a big comeback, but this one, none required here for Astralis. Very, very well-drilled play. I mean, even Kirby got off to a bit of a slow start. He managed to bring himself back in there, but no one from, you said it, there's no flashy play. There was nothing overly impressive, and we don't lay that on Dead Fox. We don't require him. They shouldn't require him to bring that kind of stuff into the game, but over the board there, very disappointing from HellRaisers.
Yeah, exactly that. It was very underwhelming. After what we saw, it's such a competitive first half. It was really enjoyable. Just didn't seem to switch on in the second, and again, sadly, we had almost a repeat of the same style of the last map. Good, kind of surprising first half, quite exciting in the second. Meh.
No, disappointing stuff. I'm sure they'll be feeling the same thing. But let's now pass over to the desk as they finish us off for the night.
Thanks very much. We're having a whale of a time here at the analyst desk. Henry G and Chad are joining me to talk us through that final game.
Yes.
It was a game of 2 halves, Henry,
it definitely was, like the first map in many ways.
Yes, indeed.
So, HellRaisers get off to this phenomenal start. They win the pistol, and we thought, okay, Astralis, they thought, okay, on Mirage, we lost both pistols, but the force buy worked out for us both times. Tried to implement that on train, and actually, it was detrimental. It didn't actually work out. They got the 5-0 coming in. Obviously, you go into that first gun round, not as well equipped as you would be after the force buy on the second. So they lose that, gets to 5-0. And I speculated at the start. Dead Fox, he was going to have an impact on the AWP, the new addition. Looked quite free. He actually was getting the initial picks on those gun rounds and actually being very influential. But obviously, the tables turned. Astralis, they only need a little bit to work with. They got 7 rounds in SCT half. And the second half, Chad, I think you raised some good points in the break, what we were discussing.
9 in a row.
Exactly.
9 in a row.
9.
Oh, T-side train, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Obviously, the structure of HellRaisers there, doesn't exist on that CT half. It's a lot about rotations and rotating well for your players and helping them out, and we didn't see that. Astralis really capitalized on that and just ran away with it. Also, the CT economy, it's such a brutal beast. You take an eco, take another eco, you get your orbs up, you lose your eco. It sucks. And HellRaisers, they couldn't get anything done.
And of course, a lot of shout-outs do go to the man on your screen here. Kirby had a spectacular game alongside others. I think he was sitting around 15 frags at the end of it. The big name was actually Dupree.
You could see how pressing they were towards the end of that T-half as well. Like, they've got so much confidence. When you take an inside site, it's normally preferred that you're pushing up aggressively to stop the rotations, right? Dupree was taking that one step further. He's getting towards CT spawns, completely shutting them down. The rotations were horrible for HellRaisers. Couldn't get any ground to the bombs. So they were Molotov this round especially. You could see how much they're actually inside the no man's land of CT spawns per se. But very, very confident second half there from Astralis. Looked a little bit interesting at the start, but HellRaisers have been the thorn in the side of a lot of teams here. Fnatic, 2 overtimes there last week. new player comes in and have some decent games against Astralis. So a team maybe to look out for in the future, Alex. What do you think?
It does look like it's going to be one of those kind of things that does take time. You lose your coach, you lose a star player, and then you lose your 5th player. So there's a lot of things in limbo right now.
We're not really sure. Like, they never really announced Smike was joining. Is Dead Fox actually joining the team? Or is he trialing? I guess Pro League is the perfect chance to actually, in official environments against top teams, it's a good place to see how they handle themselves. I think Smike actually did okay, and now Dead Fox seems to be doing all right as well. But what are they looking for specifically?
Well, they're certainly not arguing, or battling for that top 6 finish. I think that's not something that HellRaisers have set their sights on. Instead, they have an opportunity to know that these pro teams, it's not scrims environment. This is a full-on environment, competitive environment with, $750,000 on the line. They know that the other team is giving them their all, and that gives them an opportunity to try and develop. And they have proven that. I mean, that T-side of Mirage will go down in infamy for a while. I think they've definitely demonstrated what they're capable of.
Yeah.
See if they can do it in the long run. But that was HellRaisers falling and Astralis managing to go ahead and, I think, stop the boat from rocking so much after that first map was a little bit of a scare for the Danes, but they do manage to make it 2-0 in the end. And that was just the first set of game, rather the second set, excuse me. We'll have a reminder of the first. We got to see NIP and Na'Vi go head-to-head and go one apiece. Overpass was a rather open and shut case for the CIS squadron. However, Dust 2 was a much more exciting affair. I think you had a great deal of fun casting that one, Henry. You had a big smile on your face.
Just the amount of insane clutches and deagle shots. I think, like I said, the MVP of that match was the deagle. Like both teams making that weapon sing time and time again. Michael Ellie with some crazy shots. Edward did the same thing, and Simple that nuts round towards long. It was just really, really exciting. Those are the kind of rounds, or games I should say, that make me love Counter-Strike as a whole. Yeah,
and there was a lot more to love as well for Astralis picking up that overtime win versus Fnatic. Probably a nice little exhale from them as they did concede Mirage. And then it's kind of interesting as well to see that they went 16-13 as well. Both Mirages this time in the Pro League, both on and off stream. For the Penta and G2 affair as well, it's worth noting, I know it has just disappeared from your screens, but again, Penta pushing the best. They keep it, double digits, keeping it respectable. Competitive, however, look at that scary double digits. That is going to be their 10th loss now on the board for the Pro League. And so there is a couple at the bottom of the barrel. It's still 2 wins more than Flipside there.
Definitely. Penta were one of the first teams to come in from Premier and they're trying to hold their own. I think they're doing a reasonable job. As long as they post respectable results, they're not getting battered every single game. They're definitely not on the level of 90% of these teams within the Pro League. So they're doing a good job. And they're just kind of on the cusp of Tier 2, Tier 3, and they're actually providing promising results each time. So it's a great place for them to improve as well.
And not forgetting, of course, at that 8th spot, you see Na'Vi conceding their first loss today. We witnessed that on Dust 2. Great game.
And we're taking 6 teams now, Alex, aren't we?
That's correct.
So that's just a nice little note from today.
Nice little note that we did learn was, of course, announced at the start of the stream. 6 teams from Europe and 6 teams from North America, which is where you're going next. Let's go ahead and show you them. Ooh, CLG and NRG going to be starting things off. And upon following that one, you get to see more and more of the Renegades, this time clashing with Echo Fox, seeing some headshots and such. SK and Complexity meet on the second stream alongside Liquid and E United. So that's all going down in the Americas. And it is the Americas, or the rest, as Chad so beautifully put. The rest. Tuesday is when you get to see us next. And you get to see Mouse versus Na'Vi. Now that should be a good one. Now, why are you saying that, Chad?
Mouse is showing amazing form lately. With Oscar, everything seems to be working, and Na'Vi as well, 7-1. There'd be maybe a clash of the Titans right there.
It certainly would be. And talking of ex-Titan, we have G2 and NIP going head-to-head alongside HR and Dignitas. So lots of excitement going down on Tuesday. That's Matchday 17. And now we need to start packing our suitcases. We've got a plane to catch.
Got a holiday.
Yeah. We're going to go hack some dreams over in Romania. And it's going to be a fun time.
Starting tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So a nice little trip coming
I hope we do get some dreams. I hope to nap at some point. But it has been a fantastic day of Pro League. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
No worries.
Now we will once again disappear, and you will be joining us again on Tuesday for more ESL Pro League action. One final reminder before we do go that you can get all the information. If you want to understand how this league is going, how it's, what the structure is, we keep bringing up the standings. If you want to understand exactly what is going down there, you can check out the Score Esports as well. It's available on your smartphone. So you can go ahead and get that at your leisure. Now we disappear, and we'll see you Tuesday for more of the same. Thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.